Good morning. Welcome back and thanks for joining me. Last night in front of the television I pulled out a bunch of my junk mail envelopes, well, bank envelopes, and decided to make up some little booklets. I made this one into an expanding folder. So I just got, I think it was 3 envelopes the same size. The cover is an envelope glued shut, so there's really nothing much going on there. And then this is 2 envelopes folded in half to create the expanding pocket. And all I wanted to do today was just to decorate the cover. I don't even have a plan. I just thought I can do this project on camera. So I don't need to probably ink that bottom edge, because I think whatever I'm going to put around, I'm going to put all the way around as one cohesive cover. I just want to cover these edges with ink. Like I say, I'm probably going to, because I want to cover the fact that it's a envelope, even though you're going to be able to see it in here. If I really wanted to camouflage them, I would have covered them all with paper first. But I don't know, I might use this as labels, like put a label here that says whatever's in there, like if it's butterflies, bees, dragonflies, whatever, and just use the labels to cover the CIBC. I like the pattern on the inside of the pockets. I think that's neat. And all you do is fold the envelopes in half. I've got one here that isn't glued up yet. So you take 2 envelopes to make the center, cut off the ends. I'm just doing this to buy me some time while I think about what I want to do. And then you, instead of gluing it right together, you just glue up the middle. So you just take and I just did a zigzag with white glue up the center. Close that up and hold it down. And then do the same thing again, just up the center. And attach the next page to it, lining them up as best as you can down at the bottom. Have I got that right? To go then this way. And it doesn't have to be envelopes. You can just make any tube of paper. I just was wanting to use up my envelopes because I have a basket about the size of a shoebox and you couldn't fit any more into it. So I figure I've got, like I'm continuing to save them, so I better use them. So then you've got an expanding pockets, 4 expanding pockets once they glue together. And then for the cover, I just glued an envelope shut. Now here, that's something else that I'm working on. That one's already glued up. It's just another envelope glued shut. And then if you glue, it doesn't even have to be another envelope. It could be a piece of fabric, for instance, glued on as a cover. And then you still just glue it down the middle so that that first pocket will open. If you glued it all over, that pocket would only open that much. So if you want it to open wide, you just glue down the middle. So let's see what we can cover this with. I'm thinking fabric now that I've been having time to think, because I have this whole drawer full of upholstery fabric samples, but I haven't been able to get around to using them all. Actually, here's what I'll use. I love this. This is just a tea towel that I got at a thrift store or a yard sale or something. I'm going to use this to cover it. So I'm going to tear it. So I'm going to try this way first. And then I'll go this way. I love a good tearable fabric. And then figure out how wide I want this. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to go almost all the way to the edge. So I think I'll cut it at this stripe here, just past it, so that I get a bit of a fray. And I've got one torn edge. I need to figure out, you can fray it a bit more too, just with your fingers. It's not very straight, which surprises me. Let's see if I can. Nope. This has just been washed and used, and it's out of square now just from use. Okay, I think it's still going to work. So I can go all the way around, and then I might want to come like up over the top and put a button or something. So I'm going to leave it a little long for now. And embrace the fraying and save those strings. Put it in my string thing later. Now to put this on, I will actually use glue stick because it works pretty well to get it to lay down everywhere, and then I can put white glue around the edges. It works best with fabrics that have a bit of body to them. I've used it a lot on the upholstery fabric samples. So I'm going to start at the top here, which isn't inked, so I want to ink that first. Just sort of leave a little bit of the envelope showing. Pull that so that it's straight and fairly flat, and then up the other side. Try to keep those stripes going straight. There, that's better. Give it a little tug. Let's get a hold of this edge so I can do the same thing and just straighten that a little bit. I'm just trying to decide. I think I'm going to fold this over. Yeah, maybe not that much. That end wasn't glued, so I'm going to glue it. And actually, instead of folding it over, I'm going to back it with something to give it some rigidity. Just some paper bag, I think. I've got some Subway bag here. Actually, I'll use there's a piece. That'll work. Not. Oh, I made an envelope. That's why that's. I sat and made envelopes and pouches out of paper bag one night just to try to use some up. Got a box of paper bags in my craft room, and it's just too many. Let's just make sure this is straight. It's not bad. So that is double thickness. So I'm just going to glue that shut. This is just to give the little fold over flap a little more strength. And I'll glue on the paper, which is easier to do. It doesn't try to move on me. And just glue that down, allowing the fabric to be off the edge of the paper. And then that'll just give that something sturdy. You see now this still opens, even though it's got the cover on it. And then what will I do? I want to kind of leave, so if this is full of stuff, then this has to expand a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is put a button or a brad in the cover with a string on it that can wrap around and around and around. So let me see, I think there was some interesting buttons that Wanda sent me. In this bag. And I saw a trick recently where they used a shank button, and I've always shied away from shank buttons, but this made sense to me. What's this one? It's like an eagle or something with a crown and laurel. That's pretty. It's the kind of thing I'm looking for. What's this one? Just a shield. I kind of like the eagle one. I'm probably going to send this to West Virginia, so that kind of will work. It's my family reunion. So I'm going to use my crocodile to get a hole in this cover. Let me just get it approximately centered. So if I measure from fray to fray, it's about 10 centimeters. So 5 centimeters would be the center, which would put it just on the edge of this line. I want to put it right here, I think. So I'm just going to use this, excuse me, I'm just going to use this to punch the hole for the shank to go through. I think if I use the bigger punch side, it will work. So I'm going to get that where I want it. Excuse me. We used our air conditioning for the first time last night. I think that's why my throat's a little bit weird this morning. So then that can just glue in there. I could put a little something through it to hold it in, but glue is going to work really well. Just put glue all the way around the shank. And then I want to try to have it facing the right way. Till it sets up. And then what kind of string will I use? I'll get into my bookbinding box because I know there's some string in there. I might want to put some trim along the edge of that. It's not looking too straight. So we've got like twine, which would of course work with the homespun look of this fabric. So let's use that. And I don't know if this is long enough. No, this is short pieces that came with some tags. got some leather. Oh, there's some longer twine. That'll work, and that's kind of fine twine. Fine twine. And so if I want this to go around a few times, I'm going to want it maybe a couple feet long. I'll do a yard. A yard is from the tip of my nose to the tip of my fingers when my arms stretch straight out to the side. My mom all told me that. And so once I feel that this is glued, I might want to put some more glue on the back side. And like I said, you could put a little piece of something in there, a stick of something, maybe a piece of toothpick even, just to hold it in. But I think the glue will work. I'm just going to put a little bit more on the back here. But I'm going to tie it around at the front in under the button. And just tie a knot. Tight, but I don't want to pop the button out. I'd have to put something else on the back to hold that in. I suppose I could put like a hole protector and a whole bunch of glue underneath it. So let's see about that. Just a brown one. Actually, black would look good up against that paper. If I had blue, I would use the blue, like a denim-y blue. I don't think I do. This one's already cut to the right thing. So just to give it a little bit more, actually what I could do is build it up with layers in this glue. Until it's flush. And then put a solid one on top. So I do have some solid ones here that aren't cut out. Like that. And that should hold it in. Probably didn't need to do all of that, but and then when I have stuff in it and it only comes to here, I can still close it because I can just do this. And then wrap it around there, and then that's going to hold it closed. But I think it's missing just a little something along that bottom edge. It just looks too wonky, even though I like wonky. For some reason, I'm not enjoying the way it's looking, so let's see what I got. A little piece of lace or something. My scrap bin first. I have so many scrap bins. This one I think is mostly fabrics, which might not solve my problem. I like gingham with ticking stripe, but it would need to be the right color. Time to do some snippet rolls. just a few random pieces of lace that are kind of collaged on the edge. I could put a ruffle. I know some of my aunts would appreciate that ruffle. So let me do that. Yeah, that'll look cute. So just right below the button, I'm going to use the 3-in-1 so that I know it's going to stick really well. And I'm going to go ahead and glue all the way across because I want to be able to pull it tight and then set it down into the glue. You see how wonky that bottom edge was? And go like this, pulling it tight so that it's straight. And then just holding it for a few seconds till that glue sets up enough to hold it in place. I do have a bit of squeeze out. I can get that with my fingers there. And then I'm not going to use my Wanda scissors for that. As nice as they will cut it, I want to cut this with my older scissors in case they get a bit of glue on them. Nice and straight. And then I'm just wondering if it still needs a little bit of a blue detail or something there. That's navy satin. Yep, that's doing it for me. So again, right across the top of the ribbon now, or the lace now. Put that down upside down. That's not going to work. And just lay that right in there. Hold it for a few seconds. And then on this, I want to cut it square. I think I would like to cut little ribbon ends, but I don't think I will. Let's try it. My teensy tiny scissors. I don't know if they're going to be good or not. They don't cut right to the end, I guess. Yeah, that's cute. Sticking down. I'm going to make sure that lays flat while it dries. And then if I do want to chain or cover those up, I can make some little labels. I can put bits and bobs and do's and dads or something like that. But I'll probably put like 4 cards with pictures of family in there. And give that at the family reunion or the Barnhouse Bee reunion this October. I won't be going, but I'll be sending some things. So make sure that I make some cards that fit in here. I'm really happy with that. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I finish off one of my TV task projects. I've got a few more to do. I don't know if I'll get to them today, but do join me for more of them, and thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.